welcome back to another Mermaid Monday where we talk about everything mermaid. So today I thought that I would tell you a fun little story of how I went to a private island off of Tortola. So if you haven't been keeping up with my videos, I have recently moved to St. Thomas, which is the U.S. Virgin Island, to work with a mermaid company here. And then we ended up having a falling out and I just decided to stay. So that's where I am now. So before we had the falling out is whenever this happened. So we got booked to go to a private island off of Tortola. Tortola is a British Virgin Island. Not far from here, it's just a quick ferry ride away. I don't remember how long it was, but it wasn't too long. And it was me, it was the owner of the company, which I'm just gonna call her the other mermaid. We had a merman, we had our merwrangler, which I refer to him as Canada because he's from Canada, so I usually just kind of call him Canada. But he was our merwrangler, he did all the heavy lifting, and then we had our mermanager, which would talk to like the organizers, the people in charge, and communicate with us, you know, while we're in costume or when we're getting ready. If we didn't have time to say something or whatever, we would pass the message to our mermanager and she would make sure everything was good. She would make sure that the event organizers were happy with us, that we were doing everything that we were supposed to do, that we were doing everything they wanted us to do. You know, just making sure everything stayed to schedules and that we were where we were. So she was our mermanager. So that's the 5 of us that were together. And we all met up at the ferry dock. We decided to go ahead, grab some drinks and snacks or whatever that we would take over with us. So we grabbed some, we took a boat ride over to Tortola, and then we kind of had to wait around. We went straight to another ferry dock from Tortola to take us to the private island. And so this island is St. Peter Island. So on St. Peter Island, which is the private island that we were going to, there's only one resort which makes up the majority of the island. They own the entire island, so they're the only resort there. Well, the people who hired us, they had, that event had bought out the entire island. So it was just us performers, a few other performers, the people working with the event, and the event guests. So we weren't allowed to know what the event was like for. It was all like kept top secret, like, you know, it's one of those things for like really important people, kind of. Like, I didn't recognize any famous person, but just important people and like business and stuff that would come and they would just enjoy the time. I think it's just like one of those celebration type of things where like people were like, congratulations, you got like top earning or top something in our company. You win a trip to a private island for a weekend type of thing. That's pretty much what happened. They were only there for a night. So back to what I was saying. We went to Tortola, we got there. We drove around a little bit.
Whether we was walking, riding horseback, or even when four-wheel drive came into being, we had to go up, down, and across that mountain side.
So we ended up having to wait a little while to catch the ferry, and we were gonna go eat. So we kind of walked around in the area that we were in. There weren't any like restaurants right in that area, so then we thought we saw one, so we walked around to it, and it turns out it was a strip club. And I mean, it was closed because it was during the day anyways, but that was like the only thing close to us. So we were kind of like, we haven't eaten yet today, we need to eat. So we kept looking around and we didn't see anything, and we were already there waiting for the ferry, so we just decided, oh, we'll eat when we're there. So we take the ferry over, we get there, everything's nice and cool. We meet the event organizers, we get out of the way so that way they can't see our tails, because we wanted it to be a surprise, and the organizers wanted it to be a surprise, you know, just like, oh, here's your event. Oh, and look in the pool, there's mermaids. How awesome is that? So we kind of hid out of the way for a little bit, and then they took us to our rooms, and then we got there in the rooms, and they were really, really cool. Like, that was probably the fanciest place that I will ever stay in my entire life. It was really fancy and nice. Like, it was probably really expensive too. So we got to stay in those rooms. Whenever you walk in, there's like the beds, there's the bathroom. The bathroom has like this huge shower. So in the back of the room, there's another door, and you walk out and it's like a little balcony, except it connects to the room next to you. So the guys were in one room and then us girls were in this room. And we would hang out on the balcony, you know, whenever we could. So when we first got there, we were in a rush, so we went, they wanted us to go ahead and see the pool, see the area that we were gonna be set up at and everything like that. The guests went ahead and went to their rooms, and they were all getting ready and for their night. So we went ahead and went up there. We were in this well, it's like a dressing room, but really it was kind of just this, it looked like a private home almost, or like a honeymoon suite type of thing, or it was even more fancy than our rooms. So we walk into this dressing room, and it's like one huge bed takes up like the entire room, and then you had like a dresser, and then in the corner there was like a little kitchen-y area, and then there was like sliding doors, and you walk out and there's this huge balcony overlooking like the ocean and everything right there, and then not far was the pool. So we're in this room, and then we go into the bathroom. And I'm so excited about this bathroom. I was like in love with this bathroom, okay? This bathroom had this huge tub. It had like this huge shower, and you could walk outside and still be in the shower. There's like a shower head here, like there's like 3 shower heads, and then you walk outside and there's another shower head, and it's all private, nobody can like see you. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump over this little ledge here and go over there. So I jumped over the ledge and then went over the next ledge, and I came back in from the sliding glass doors from where the balcony is. So that was kind of fun. I was just like, hey guys, I'm gonna be right back, I'm gonna go hop over here. And then I just kind of went in like this giant circle like twice. Of course, they were all thinking I'm like crazy or something because I was just that excited, but we were all very excited about that bathroom. Like, that bathroom was amazing, and I wish that I had one. So after that, we ended up going out, meeting the organizers, seeing the pool. The pool was really cool. It had like a waterfall, it had like a little bridge, it had like a bunch of rocks and everything. It was like a little mermaid's paradise. Like, this pool was made for mermaids. So we go there, we look around, and then we find out what all we were doing. So they had me in a different pool, which is what all the guests were told to do. And I sit there and I basically tell them that this pool is for mermaids only. And then I direct them to the other pool where they had like cars waiting to take them up to the other pool, because it was like, this is on a huge island. So they had to like actually have cars like chauffeuring people around. So so I basically told them where to go. And so after all of the guests go, me in Canada, because he was had to carry me, he carried me into the backseat of a car. So here's a quick picture of that. It was really cute and really funny, and I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture. I'm never in the backseat of the car myself. So then they drive us up to the other pool where we're supposed to be. And we get there and we meet back up with the other merman and mermanager, because they were staying there and they were swimming around in the big pool, the main pool, while the guests come in. So we pull up after all the guests are there, and Canada carries me to the actual pool, sets me down in there, and we swam around for a little while. I ended up getting a really bad cramp in my foot, so I ended up like sitting down for photos and stuff, and I was just like, this feels absolutely awful. I needed to stretch more, and I stretched a lot. I usually have to stretch, but if I'm not swimming that much, then I get really bad cramps, and then if I do too many like flips and stuff like that, I get cramps again. So that really sucks, but I just kind of need to swim more, so I know I'm probably gonna cramp up in my next swim. Anyways, So I meet back up with them, we swim around, I got a cramp, so we're sitting there, we're all looking pretty for the photos and stuff, and just having a good time. So then after the guests, they all are in the line, they get their food, they all take photos with us, they're having a good time. They go inside to eat and everything, and so that's whenever Canada carries us out. So he carried each of us out one by one. We all took pictures while he carried us. And then we got to a private lake beside the building where the cars are. And then we walk around to our dressing room, and so we took our tails off there and then walked back to our dressing room to get everything ready and whatnot. And so they gave us a lot of the leftovers. They were just about to pack it up from the buffet from the event, so they gave us like a whole bunch of like plates of food. So then he brought it back down to our rooms, and we had dinner and everything, and it was really cool. And then after that, we kind of hung out for a while, talked, listened to music, just kind of had a good time, and then went to sleep. And then the next morning, I'm not a morning person, so that sucked, but we had to get up, and we got this really awesome breakfast, which I was really worried about because I'm a vegetarian, so it's like I can't eat a whole lot, especially breakfast foods, because it's like sausage, bacon, you know, all this and that, and then I'm really picky too, so I don't like a lot of stuff like omelets and whatnot. And so I was kind of worried about it, but they kind of just sent everything on the menu. And I went to go taste an omelet, and whenever I put the fork down, it wasn't fully on the table, so it like slid off and broke. And I felt so terrible because I broke their plate, and I was like, oh no! And I was like, felt so bad. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. So, my bad for that. But after that, we ended up getting all of our stuff, but we didn't have to check out till like 4. And everybody from the event had left the island at like 10-11. So we were kind of like there all by ourselves, other than the workers. Like, we had this private island to ourselves, so we didn't have to check out or leave until 4. So we decided to stay a little while and go to one of the beaches. So we walked down to the beach. Yeah. And hung out there, and this is an island where everything is all inclusive. So we walked down, we got to paddleboard, they had like a few other cool things, we went snorkeling, they had like really cool hammocks. A whole lot of cool things. They had like a little band playing with the drums and stuff, you know, that they have. Cue the music. And that was really neat. They were playing the Little Mermaid and stuff. It was so cute. And then they had like a little bar and everything. And they were getting it ready for the day because they opened it back up, and people were checking in, I think at 12 or 1. So people started to come during the day, but we had like the entire island to ourselves that morning, and then people kind of trickled in. They didn't really they didn't come all at once. They just kind of slowly started coming in. But I got to paddleboard for the first time, and then I got to go snorkeling, and I followed this really cool ray around, and there was a few sea turtles. It was so cool. And then after like about, it was like 3-ish, or it was 2 or 3, and the other mermaid came up, and she had to go to work later. She had to be there by 4, so she's like, I gotta catch this ferry to make it back in time to go to work. And then our mermaid manager was like, oh, I don't want to leave. And then somehow during talking, because we were all supposed to leave together, she decided that half of us could stay and half of us, and that she would leave. So she left, and then the merman left with her. And so it was me, Canada, and our mermaid manager who all stayed. And then we just kind of enjoyed our day. We had, you know, some fun times and everything. And then we went back to our room around the time that we're supposed to check out, got everything that's left to pack. Because the other mermaid and our merman actually took like a lot with them. We didn't expect them to take as much as they did. So we didn't have too much to carry back. So we took our stuff and went and checked out. And then the other mermaid starts blowing up our phones and the group chats and my text messages and all this and that. And she was like freaking out because the last ferry from Tortola to St. Thomas was at like 3:30, and the next ferry from Peter Island to Tortola was at 4, and it was like 3 at that time. So we missed our ferry. We tried to contact people, see if anybody could get a boat over to us or anything like that, and it was just gonna be super expensive. So we ended up talking to the front desk lady, and she got a few different quotes for us, and then she ended up booking for us at a hotel on Tortola, where it was a pretty decent price. And we split it 3 ways. There was 3 beds, so we all just kind of shared. And so it was really sweet of them. It was really nice. They were so helpful. And so we ended up taking the ferry back into Tortola, and then we were stuck in Tortola for a night. So we get there, we use the same taxi driver that we did when we first got to Tortola, and he took us back to the hotel. So get there, they were really nice and everything, and then we went into our room, and it wasn't like super like nice and fancy, but it was pretty decent for like a older like hotel. And you go in, and then you got like the 2 beds like a normal hotel would. You have like a bathroom and everything, but you walk around, and where the bathroom is, you go like upstairs, and on top of the bathroom there was like this loft, and then there was a huge bed up there, like a king size bed. So we were like, all right, Candace, you've been awesome in getting us all of these connections and been such a great help. You can have the master bed. And so then me and our manager slept like in these little 2 beds. And we had like the little glass doors that you can slide, come out, and there would be a patio. It's more like a smoking section, is what a lot of people use it for, but it was really cool and convenient. And then we decided that we should go out and see the island while we're there, you know, might as well. How many times do you get to go to Tortola, you know? So we went over there, and the entire island was actually kind of like, everything was closed because they had like a big event. It was like a boat race or something like that. I don't remember the name of it, but it was really cool. We had missed it, but everything was still closed for that event. So we went to one of the only places that were like open at the time. And we kind of just hung out there and, like, you know, had a good time, listened to the music, ate some food and everything. Then we went back and we ended up playing a few games. Like, it's the one where you take your phone and, like, it gives you a word and you have to, like, guess what you are, and the other people give, like, hints or, like, sing songs or whatever, just so you guess it. I don't know what it's called, but I think Ellen played it on the Ellen DeGeneres show. But it was cool, it was really fun. So then after that next morning, we checked out and we went to the ferry and we caught the next ferry because we had a round trip ferry. So we didn't really spend too much going over there. A lot of people spend a lot more whenever they go to Tortola, so it was actually a pretty good thing. We were happy that the way that it ended up, but we got back and everything was fine. The other mermaid ended up picking us up from the ferry and taking us back home and everything, so it was really cool. It was a really neat experience. So I hope you enjoyed me telling you about the time that I got stuck on Tortola and got to go to a private island. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it so I know you want more. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will read them and reply to some. And have you guys ever been to like an island for like vacation, like any kind of either private island or Caribbean island, anything like that? Let me know. I'd love to hear about that vacation. I'm sure it was awesome. And feel free to click on any of my other videos. I have lots of cool stuff coming. I am hopefully swimming this week, so I'll get some more videos up. And I'll try to think of more story times that I can tell you guys, because this was really fun. Mermaid kisses and starfish wishes.